Hey people, this is Jake, bringing another Percy Jackson YouTube video. What's in my hand? Oh, this is in my hand, Burning Maze. Third book of the Trials of Apollo by Rick Riordan. Yeah, guys, we're talking about this, and we are sharing spoilers. So, if you have not read this book, and and want to, and don't want spoilers, and somehow have managed not to get spoiled, which, like, congratulations, that takes some skill, because the Percy Jackson fans can't keep their mouths shut. Congratulations. Please come back later after you've read if you want to. But yeah, definitely don't watch this, because there's going to be spoilers. And here we go. Jason died. That sucks. I don't know. Not that I know everyone's opinion on the matter, but like from what I've seen of vocal opinions, which, you know, a lot of people aren't, but from what I've seen of vocal opinions, like people that will say who they like and who they dislike, a lot of people don't like Jason, from what I've seen. And look, I'm not going to try to, I'm not harping on you right now. I'm not going to show, oh, you were a terrible person, like, how could you not like this boy? Like, it's your opinion, that's fine, you know, whatever. But in my point of view, Jason was one of my favorite characters. And he's the most, I am the most torn up about his death more than anyone else's in the Percy Jackson universe. Second is Charles Beckendorf, but everything else, I know there has been a lot of sad deaths that I'm still sad about to this day, but Jason Grace is definitely the worst, because I really like that guy, and it really sucks. And I'm going to try not to go on and on and on and on about this, but I do have to address one thing. Rick Riordan, do you watch my videos? Do you? Because I totally made a video 2 months ago talking about how he never kills anybody. Like, literally. I was like, you know, a lot of people talk about how Rick kills people all the time, but he really doesn't. You know, we don't have to be worried when our heroes are encircled because they're heroes, and Rick's not going to cross that line. Like, which major person has he killed? Nobody. Okay. And then whada bang, he's dead. Like, are you trying to send me a message? Is someone trying to? Is the karma? Like, what's going on? Like, come on. That is not... I'm sorry. To all you Jason fans, I'm sorry. I must have done something. That I tempted karma by making that video. And I know I made it seem like I don't give a shit about people dying, but let me tell you, I give a shit. I'm depressed about this. Oh... Like, he didn't even need to die. Like, that wasn't even, a good... he died like a boss, but the guy just survived a giant, literally a giant war, a war of giants, okay? In the Heroes of Olympus. They fought Earth. And he's good. And now he's gonna die against this horse and this, snarky emperor for some shoes? Like, are you kidding me? That's what's going on here. I shouldn't ramble too much. I think this is definitely a death. I think Jason being one of the characters that a lot of people dislike, being him dying, I don't think that was an accident whatsoever. I think Rick knew that and used Jason as kind of a message, it's going down. No one is safe. Shit is happening. People are dying. Bodies are dropping. This is getting real. And all this stuff earlier about people ain't dying, that ain't a thing anymore. And I think he used, if he did that to Percy, the man's going to get assassinated. Let's just be real. I will lead the charge. But if it's Jason, people are going to be upset. But a lot of people are probably indifferent about it, which kind of tears my heart to shreds, but it is what it is. But it sends that message, and the message received. You don't need to kill anybody, man. I won't delete. Maybe I should delete the video. Should I delete? I take back. Don't kill anybody, Rick, please. But yeah, it is what it is. Jay Grace is in Elysium, guys, and the more depressing thing is Apollo talked earlier in the book about how life is better than Elysium. There's always thought, these guys are going to Elysium, so if they die, that sucks, but they're in Elysium, which, it's still sad. I still would have been sad then, but he basically Apollo went into detail about how life is better than Elysium, and you don't want to be down Elysium, which, granted, this is coming from Apollo, who's lived like 99% of his life as an immortal god. Like, he doesn't have to go to work. He doesn't have to go to school. If he's ever in a problem, he just makes it poof away. So yeah, Earth is probably better for you. But in Elysium, these guys get to just chill without all that stress. And yeah, you don't get to see the sky and all that, but that sucks. But anyway, yeah, I don't, it is what it is. Jason's there, and I'm sad. But he did go out like a boss. Like, I think the death was unnecessary, for sure. But if Jason was going to die, that's how I would do it. Fighting an almost impossible foe, getting shot with arrows and taking it, and still fighting on, all to save your friends. Like, that's Jason Grace. And that's like why I don't understand why people don't like him, because that is who he is. That, like, he will make that decision 100 out of 100 times knowing he's going to die. He will make that decision. And that I love that about him. And that I'm glad that's how he went out. Like, it wasn't just some mamby-pamby BS way. Like, he went out being who he is. And it was definitely a good death scene. Wish it didn't happen, but I'm glad it happened that way. And yeah, I was spoiled. I knew it was going to happen. Well, I knew he was going to die. So all those scenes prior, when Jason was still being awesome, talking about like the real reason he didn't tell Piper was to protect her, because he knew one of them was going to die and he was going to let her go live her life so he could wouldn't have to risk her dying, and that he had still kept his promise to that goddess that he said he would build all the things for, and he had like the model, and he told Apollo, like, all those awesome Jason Grace moments were still so depressing, because like, dude, you were such a good person and I love you and you are going to die. And then he did die. But Jason, for like the little he was in this book, I loved him. I loved him all the way through the Heroes of Olympus, and I loved him in this. He was Jason Grace. He is Jason Grace. He's in Elysium. I better stop talking about Jason because we're 8 minutes into this video. I still got other stuff. Do I really have other stuff? We can talk about Piper. Look, guys, I'm a Piper fan as well. And so it really just kind of pains me to say this, but I didn't like her in this book. And Piper's another one that gets a lot of hate. So that's why I hate to say that I didn't like her here, but I didn't. Okay, I liked this book, but there was a glaring 4 pages that made me want to like rip out this hair that needs to be cut anyway, and just kind of go find Rick and do some. I digress, but why'd they break up? Like, literally, that is what I'm most upset about. Why did they break up? And there was that scene too when like she's talking to Grover, and Grover's like, "What? You guys broke up? Like I thought." And she's like, "You thought we would be together forever, like Percy and Annabeth?" And I'm like, "Yes, I did think that. Why is that a bad thing? Why couldn't that be true?" And I was like, "Okay, well, there must be some reason." Okay, and then Melly is acting like it's Jason's fault. I'm like, crap, like what's happened? Is Jason just a dweeb now? Like, what's going on? Like, there must be some good reason. Okay, and then we find out the reason. And what's the reason? Well, what is the reason, Piper? Okay, Hera messed with your life. Yeah, that sucks. But guess what? Jason, you worked through that. Jason helped you work through that. Like, yeah, all those memories of like that you have of him to begin with, they were false. They were made by Hera, but you guys literally just worked a series building through that. Like, you had that awesome moment at the end of the Blood of Olympus when he's telling you, like, yeah, girl, I know all that happened. He said it. I sounded creepy there. That's not how he was at all. But that moment, when they're on the roof and he's like, it doesn't matter. Like, I love you and I still love you. And here we are, like, let's make our own memories free of that beautiful moment. Okay? Apparently, that's part of the reason she broke up with him. And also, like, so she was like, okay, so all this happened with Hera. And then I'm the daughter of Aphrodite. And I'm not, as a daughter of Aphrodite, I'm, like, supposed to break boys' hearts. But then I'm also, like, Cherokee. But because, like, Cherokee comes from your mother's side, I'm not even Cherokee because my mom's a Greek goddess. But I still love Jason. So it's like, then why'd you So you're having an identity crisis. Okay, like, I understand that. Okay, like, yeah, you're 16, your life's, like, you've had a lot of crazy shifts going on in your life. I understand why you're having some problems with your identity. But really, like, you openly admit you love Jason. The boy has done nothing wrong. And you're gonna dump him because your parentage and hair is a jerk. Like, seriously? That's your reason. After we go through all this stuff in Heroes of Olympus, that is your reason? That. Are you serious? Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm just like overreacting, or if I'm misinterpreting this. If I am, yell at me in the comments. But that's how I took it. I'm not gonna reread those to make sure I'm not, because I don't want to go through that again. But those 4 pages like drove me, and Apollo's like being like so understanding. It was almost like Rick was trying to send a message. Like, that's how he was writing it. You know, Apollo was just agreeing with her, and it's like, oh yeah, you gotta find out who you are, you know, yeah. And it's like, but what messages are we trying to send? Just because you don't know who you are, just dump a perfectly good dude that you love and he loves you, just instead of asking, like, letting him continue to help you through it, like, you're just gonna dump him over it? Like, is that the message? Like, that's awful. That's, I probably need to stop, but yeah, guys, it irked me. It irked me. It vexed me. And it's just, honestly, like, it's just not Piper. Like, Piper loves Jason. That is clear as day in Heroes of Olympus. She loves Jason. Jason loves her. What is the problem? And apparently it's because she's having some, I don't even know. It's just stupid. It was really, in my opinion, it was just over the top stupid. And I just think it was bad writing, really. It's super out of character for Piper. It was out of the blue. It was totally unnecessary. He's going to die anyway. If you want him breaking up, they're broken up. He's dead. But you had to, like, make it worse. I don't know, maybe if he was trying to had him break up already so it makes the death a little easier. I don't know. But that was definitely, that was like the one part in this book that really just kind of drove me crazy. But everything else I thought was pretty good. And then, yeah, it was still super depressing overall. You know, Meg, her backstory with her father, and her yelling Hercules, you know, she's being dragged away before her home exploded. That kind of made me want to, like, crawl in a hole and die. And then Crest getting stabbed over and over again. Yeah, that was sad, but, you know, yeah, it didn't, like, tear me up, but that was sad. It was a depressing book. And then, okay, so then you got to go through all this. And I read, like, the last 130 pages in, like, this morning. So, like, I went through Jason. I know this is probably all of you, but I usually don't do this. So I saw Jason, like, dying, and then we go through all this shit. And then, like, Piper's really mad at, and that whole scene when Piper is, like, super mad at Apollo, like, after, I'm not mad about that part at all. Like, I'm not saying it was Apollo's fault, because it wasn't. But her, like, blaming him after that just happened, that's totally, like, I would be, like, blaming everybody. If, you know, someone I love just died, I would be going crazy too. So I'm not mad at her about that at all. But then at the end, you know, when Leo comes, he's like, "What's up, guys?" And, oh no, where's Jason? And you're just like, yeah, where's that hole? Can I go crawl in it? Can I go die? Yeah, but that it was well written, but it was so friggin' depressing. Yeah, I don't need to tell you guys this. You know it was depressing. Unless you hated Jason Grace, then this book was like, woohoo! For you. But, yeah, it is what it is. One of the best parts in this was when Piper stabbed Medea. Because I thought Medea was such, like, a terrible villain. Like, you really, like, all she does is, like, be mean and deliver stupid one-liners. You know, like, I'm just gonna continue to flay you alive. and then Piper, and then the next line is, and then she died. Good stuff. I better stop talking. We've been here 16 minutes. So, guys, if you've listened to me rant, thank you. I really just did this because I needed to get it out. And it's out. I feel a little better. Not really, but it is what it is. We talked. You listened, I hope, maybe. Thank you guys if you stuck around and watched. If you guys want to talk about it in the comments, cool. Hope you guys enjoy life. Shout outs to Jason Grace, buddy. I'm losing it, guys. Alright, peace.